Tyson situation could become a complete disaster for MrBeast's brand. However, it may also provide some unique benefits. So let's begin by going over the drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the MrBeast channel.
Hey, sorry for interrupting the video. And excuse my attire. I just got off work and I'm editing right now. Anyway, I'm going live literally every day for the next month or so. So make sure you guys subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you can see videos like this live as they happen. So you don't have to watch them later on. You can just see them live and we can chat because I get lonely sometimes. I like talking to people on the internet that I don't know, and I feel like I'm talking too much. So anyway, subscribe, post notifications. I'll see you on stream. Enjoy.
22, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck-loving dude, yet beginning in March 2022, Chris began to display increasingly feminine traits, making tweets such as, "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris would highlight that his facial appearance had changed significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs, I had to prove I was myself because I, quote, look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?" Prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy." Chris responded by stating, "Nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better," yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating that Chris was becoming more feminine, with this same kind of look showing up in his MrBeast appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother." Okay, so some people just gonna ignore Chris's nails? Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild. The response to the video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating, "How did Chris go from this to this?" While others even made the claim that Carl had turned him gay. Now, this was pretty ridiculous as Carl isn't even that feminine, and Chris had come out as bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage. In January 2022, Chris would post a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether. Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails. Chris confirmed the split in a post from March 2023 reading, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated," with this also confirming that Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end. Chris went from lighting campfires and raising a family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man buns and long nails. As the criticism continued to pile, Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a possibility that Chris would make efforts to return to his former self, he'd rather do the opposite and double down on his feminine image, showing up to the Kids' Choice Awards looking like this, before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google search is the medical process for changing genders. Chris would expand on this by stating, "Informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies," which received a positive response from both Carl and MrBeast, who wrote, "Got you, I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend." While his co-workers expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming. There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Weak man times.
So, okay. Let's break this down. And if you guys heard any weird audio subs, because I was trying to make sure you guys could hear everything. Anyway, okay. So they're trying to. Okay, what are y'all saying, bro? The fact they're using this as an excuse just to bully Chris. This guy's way of saying 2022, 2022. Australian in it. Okay. All right. So they're trying to basically get at this man Chris because he started painting his nails, obviously going through his transition, and they have a problem with the fact that he might have broken up his family. Is that what's going on? Because at the end of the day, that's nobody's business, to be real. You feel me? But like, I feel like that's kind of ridiculous. You feel me? That's kind of wild. Like, and this is the thing about the internet. Like, people don't like. Obviously, people know the internet's been around forever now. So people, I think people are conscious of this, but I don't think they're conscious with this when it comes to their responses to videos or like any type of like subject for commentary, right? That ends up on the internet. That like nobody is like considering the fact that at the end of the day, certain stuff like this is nobody's business. And yes, I understand everybody has a responsibility of, if you're gonna post certain things about your life and transition in your life on the internet, you're subject to commentary. But at the same time, like, this is like this feels so minor. You feel me? And then I also have a big problem with, like, when it comes to internet stuff, that people just feel so comfortable. And like I said, you're subject to commentary when you put your life on the internet. I get it. But it's so crazy to me that people feel so comfortable just talking about people's business. That's in the real world and in the real life aspect of all this is technically, that's not something that you should feel comfortable talking about. It's not your place to be commenting on somebody's life situation. You feel me? At the end of the day, if we're just keeping it a stack, Chris is probably on payroll, 100%. He's MrBeast's friend. They do videos. They work together basically to do all this philanthropist stuff, all these cool videos, all that good stuff. At the end of the day, this is technically just his job. You feel me? Yes, they're friends, but this is his job. And the fact that people are coming at him in this way, when in reality he's technically just working, and yes, he's transitioning. So what he's supposed to do? Transition and just stop appearing in MrBeast videos and stop working, essentially. Like, you see how stupid this is? This is ridiculous. Like, people just feel so freaking comfortable, dog. Like, this is wild. And this is like this is the weirdest thing for people to even feel comfortable. Like, I'm not even saying weirdest thing for people to feel comfortable. It is, but like comfortable talking about. But I just mean, like, this is the weirdest thing to have any type of drama around. He's transitioning. He decided, hey, this is the life path I want to live. This is the life that I want to live. This is the decision I'm gonna make. What I do at the end of it, because this is another thing people gotta keep in mind. Like, he made this decision. I'm 100% sure that he more than likely made this decision thinking about his family as well and how that would impact his family. But again, that's his business. But like, the fact that people are making all these comments, not, it's a easy conclusion to make that he obviously thought about that. But he also has to be happy at the end of the day. Like, he's there. No one should have to risk their mental health and like their happiness, just because of something so simple as, well, we won't call it simple, but something like, hey, yes, my kid might look at me a certain way, but I can communicate that to my kid as he grows up, right? Or he or she grows up. That's easy, right? Yes, I might be in a situation with my wife, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that they would be they're going to be happier if they're separated and he's living the life that he wants to live in comparison to them being together, unhappy, pissed at each other, making it an unhealthy environment for their child. Like, there's so many levels to this that is actually ridiculous. And it's nobody's business, dude. Like, it's literally nobody's business. And that's the craziest part to me. And the fact that this dude just feels so comfortable just speaking so like wildly and just not even having just the 3 brain cells it takes to come to this conclusion is just insane. Like, he's literally like, he says, there goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Weak man times. That's crazy. You feel me? Especially in this context. You feel me? The quote itself isn't technically wrong, you feel me? But the fact that he's taking that quote and he's applying it to a situation like this, just because his father, now that's, I guess, eventually going to be his mother in a sense, right? This is deciding to, take this route and just essentially just be happy and live the life that he wants to live. Or, I think he's still using his male pronouns just based off of what I read, you feel me? Whatever, but, you get my point, right? Like, the fact that, Chris is doing what he needs to do for his happiness, that's not going to affect whether or not, I'm going to say their kid essentially, like, has a father figure or not. You feel me? Like, at the end of the day, that's still their kid's parent. Their kid's parent. That's at the end of the day, Chris took a part in bringing their kid into the world. You feel me? Like, that's just the reality, right? So like, the fact that like this is even a conversation is just wild to me, and that has nothing to do with that. You feel me? Because I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like, just me personally, Me and my dad, we have a good relationship for the most part, but like I'm gonna keep it a stack. My dad is not my number one male father figure. Or like I guess we'll say male role model if we're keeping it a stack. You feel me? Like most people, their number one role model, we'll just keep it a stack in general, most often than not, isn't their parents. Like their role models aren't their parents. It's like their band director. Like for me, it was like one of them was like my band director. I looked up to him a lot. You feel me? When I was in middle school, but like it's like their older brothers, like their maybe their cousins, or like maybe just people that took any time in their life when they were younger and just kind of they wanted to be like them, or they idolize them at some point. That's most of the time that's their role models. Even in like on the internet, that like most people's role models, I guarantee, when Markiplier was on like his peak, like crazy time, a lot of people idolize Markiplier. I'm just keeping it a stack, just for example, like with this internet stuff. So like this is just a wild take. It's just weird. That has nothing to do with anything. You feel me? I'm just keep it a stack. But anyway, I'm not gonna go on my long ass rant anymore. I'm done. I know that was long, but I'm done, right? Because it was just, I just felt like I had to talk about that because that's stupid. You feel me? But anyway, what I was saying, I don't really have an input so far in general. My stance to trans stuff is that it's a little strange to me, but it's your choice. If you want to do that, then go ahead. I don't care. Exactly. Like for me, it's not my business. You feel me? It's not gonna affect how I see. Like I like, for example, if I just saw a trans person like walk in front of me like at a coffee shop, or if I was ordering my coffee or whatever from a trans person, or I passed one. You feel me? Like any of that type of stuff. Like the point I'm getting to. Everyday stuff is not gonna affect my life at all. You feel me? If they want to live that life, whatever they want to do, that's none of my business. You feel me? That's just their personal choice. You feel me? Just like in all reality, I'm a straight male. You feel me? I choose to be straight every day. No, that's crazy. Like I just am. You feel me? I don't choose, but I just am. But you feel me? That's just me. You feel me? Just like trans people, they just are who they are. You feel me? They made that transition, that choice. That's 100% up to them at the end of the day. So it's like, you feel me? I'm on the same thing. It's none of my business. You feel me? I really have no like opinion on it. Just do your thing. Live your life, man. Like I don't care. But anyway, still a person who cares. You're so right, though. That's his business. No reason to make drama over it. Exactly. The thing I don't get is why people have to not only meddle in the lives of people who want to be who they want to be, but harass them for no reason. Exactly. Like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, L take. Yeah. Evan has a verified L take. Crazy. Verified is insane. Verified L take. If you look, the tweet reply is to drama alert. Sounds about right. Oh yeah, exactly. Drama alert. Yeah, makes perfect sense. But anyway, let's continue.
Chris responded to this comment by stating, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids."
Wait, let's see. This is just more dog whistling that somehow. Oh, this is Chris. Somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. GNC? What does GNC mean? I don't know. I'm ignorant. What does GNC mean? Let's look it up. GNC meaning? I guess I gotta look up Urban Dictionary. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I have to look it up, but I'm just ignorant. Gender non-conforming. Oh, okay, that's what that means. Okay, whereas one's gender norms or gender expression do not match the male/female traits expected by society. Okay. Anyway.
Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love.
Exactly.
I know I'm going
it's
to
crazy.
be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything. I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker. Chris's response was
like, dude, you're not like, as a parent, like you're at the end of the day, and that's what I had to realize about like when my parents divorced. I had to realize at the end of the day, like I had to come to like, and granted it was when I was very young, so I didn't come to this like realization until I got older. Like I was like past middle, I guess we'll say middle school, like a little past that, like where I had to really sit down and think about it. Oh, like my parents are divorced because they've divorced so young, right? Or when I was so young. So like it's a situation where I had to realize at the end of the day, like no matter what, like if two people who have to raise a child aren't happy, naturally that energy is gonna like come down and trickle down to the child, and then the child's gonna be unhappy because he's gonna see, she's gonna see, oh, my parents obviously don't like each other, they're not happy. Why does my home not feel a home? Because nobody wants to be in it. You feel me? Or the two main people taking care of you don't want to be in it together. You feel me? So like, again, none of this is our business, but it's just stuff like that, like that you just have to use your two brain cells, rub them together a little bit, and you come to that conclusion. You feel me? Kind of crazy.
Positivity such as, I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life, as well as I adore that, I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria, yet he'd also receive
That's what I was getting to. I should have just shut up and wait.
You ripped apart your family and took
it.
a father figure away from your son just so you could paint your nails and act zesty. Pathetic.
Crazy, dude.
He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house, a life full of difference and being alone.
And the crazy part is, like, okay, the only argument to this, because there is an argument, but not in this situation, right? Maybe, right? Maybe, because kids are mean and kids are nasty. Maybe this happens. But to be honest, the way our generation is advancing, our kids and like essentially like the next generation after us, they're more than likely gonna be even more accepting of things like that than the current generation is. Yes, there are gonna be certain things, you feel me, that's just, you know, at the end of the day, there's gonna be prejudice no matter what, right? But like, they're probably gonna be even more accepting than we are, you feel me? So like, this is likely, like, I'd be not very surprised, but I'd be kind of surprised if this happened anyway. But the only situation, right? My bad, I hit my mic. The only situation where I think, you know, when you have to worry about like what you do as an adult and how that affects your kids, if you have kids, the only instance where I think there's a real like conversation possibly for your, like, you know, your kid being bullied at school is if you're like you know, if you're a sex worker, porn star, stuff like that. Because even porn stars will tell you that they're terrified for their children if they have kids. You feel me? Because like, or even down to just their relationships and stuff like that. Because the life that they decide to live as like a porn star or stuff like, you know, adult, you know, sex worker, all that type of stuff. You feel me? Especially if they're like, if that stuff is on the internet, you can find it. Like, kids are mean. So I can 100% see, you know, a kid being like, yo, I just saw your mom's titties on the internet. Oh, your mom's you know, whatever. You feel me? Like, I can 100% see that more than I could see something like this, because I just feel like our generation and just how the world's progressing, it's going to be normal in a minute. You feel me? Regardless though, even if this happens, it's none of our business, bro. It's none of our business. It's crazy. Bro, sucking toes on OnlyFans now. What are we talking about now? Yeah, don't be ashamed of who you are. If you want to be straight, be straight. Yeah, exactly. You want to be gay, be gay. You want to be, you know, you want to transition and, you know, do your thing, bro. I don't care. You feel me? Like, because me personally, I think most people don't care. I just feel like, you know, about a lot of things people don't care about. People just want to have something to say more times than not. People don't care, but they want to have something to say. You feel me? And this is just a situation where people truly more than likely don't care about shit like this. They just want to be all like edgy and like have hot takes for no reason, just because it garners attention. Again, clout is drug. The internet is the internet, whatever. But you know,
must have missed the point in that tweet. How's this for him when you're depriving him of a father figure? Although Chris wasn't altered by these comments, as he'd once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, "It's never too late to start being yourself," which received praise from MrBeast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant.
Wait, what? In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Huh? Hope you come out to say. Huh? Oh, he's saying that about MrBeast and like the whole group, I guess? I don't know.
Ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life." In some ways, it was nice to...
Wait, what? I'm very confused about this. My bad, I gotta back up a little bit.
But added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life."
He's talking about this.
In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the videos.
Hey Orlando.
And that's just unfortunate.
Earn up to 700.
Y'all know where I live now. You guys already knew. I live in Orlando, Florida anyway. that was just targeted ad.
For example, in a recent live stream titled Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes, Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head, as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind, Mr. Beast. That is my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was devoid of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100 million views.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of cringy. And honestly, dude, that's one of those situations where, like, it's tough, right? Because I don't think Jimmy or any of them truly care. But like he said, they got in their heads here. You feel me? Because they didn't address all the, all the stuff. You feel me? And it's one of those things that I feel like could have easily been avoided. And this is kind of an L, right? When it comes to like what Mr. Beast could have done. And of course it's one of those things where unfortunately the world is just not at a point where all this is considered just normal yet. You feel me? To everybody. So it's one of those situations where it's kind of tough if you're Mr. Beast. You have two options. Do you say something, right? And, you invite and garner all the negative attention and hate that's going to get in the comments of the stream and all that type of stuff, or do you ignore it? And you kind of have to deal with this elephant in the room situation where, there's something that obviously needs to be talked about, but, we're trying to make this an easy this is what it is. Let's just, you're trying to make this just feel like it's just you and your group just doing what y'all usually do. So for me, like, I feel like 100%. This is tough for me, but I almost feel like this is a situation when it sucks when it's one of your, like, because at the end of the day, yes, they're friends, but at the end of the day, they're Mr. Beast employees. And I think as the businessman in me, I'm kind of like, this is where you have to make that choice. And honestly, I'm so like, I'm kind of gung-ho about stuff. Like, I'm really aggressive when it comes to things like that. So honestly, after all the drama came out, I would have probably just kept an eye on the chat, saw what they were saying, and if it started turning a certain direction, I would have stopped and said, hey, let's talk about this. I think that's the best course of action he could have done. And I doubt he did it. And that way, you say what needs to be said, you make your friend feel a bit more comfortable to know that you have, I guess we'll say their back, essentially. Because I'm just, I don't know his pronouns and stuff. I don't know what he's doing anyway, or what they're doing. I'm struggling. You guys get it. But like that way, you have your homies back, and you're just like, yo, I got you, and you still address the elephant in the room, and you feel me. You address it in chat and just say, hey, I'm not gonna tolerate this. Especially if I'm Mr. Beast. I'm like, yo, I spend like almost every day of my life trying to make the world a better place, and this is not a place for the hate. Especially if you take that angle, which is not really an angle, it's just true. You start getting everybody's support again. You feel me? It's just one of those situations that you have to just make that tough decision. And I don't know if Jimmy not Jimmy, but Jimmy, Mr. Beast, right? I'm calling him Jimmy like he's just my homie or whatever. But anyway, I don't know if Mr. Beast has that in him. You feel me? And I feel like he might do something. Clearly he's been going crazy and responding to stuff on Twitter, but it's different when you have to talk about it on your platform specifically. Twitter's not even your main platform, but when you have to talk about it on your platform specifically, that's different. I understand that too. So I just feel like he just kind of, I'm gonna keep it stacked. He pussied out a little bit. Honestly though, it's kind of tough though. I'll admit this is a tough decision you have to make. And I think this is just one of those situations where if I'm Jimmy, I just take a stand and I just tell you where I'm at with it. And if you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. And I will take the risk on my brand because of, at the end of the day, this is my friend. And this is the same person that's been on my channel since the beginning. Nothing's changed. Just, essentially nothing's changed. So it's kind of like you have a decision to make. Do you risk losing subscribers, getting crazy dislike ratio for your friend? Or do you do what Mr. Beast did here, which the M guy saying that the Mr. Beast group is yes men for allowing Chris to continue with apparent mental break slash illness and ruin his life. Oh, okay, I feel you. Humans don't like change. Yes, that's true. That's just how it is. Yes, that's true. Any change will make him comfortable. Yo, what's up, Steph? You're late. What was good? Plus, Chris was being a little loud from those clips. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I'll admit he made it worse. That's another thing. Like Chris made it worse essentially in this situation. Like a lot worse for no reason. Like you don't do that. You feel me? You already, especially if you're self aware, and that's where I'm like, yo, you got to be a little self aware of the situation. Like you already know, right? Like you already know that essentially things are gonna be weird. Don't add to the weirdness. Just act like you usually do. You feel me? Don't start making comments at Jimmy and stuff and making him uncomfortable. He's already uncomfortable because he knows what he's already fighting the dilemma of what he needs to say about this whole situation. You feel me? It's just kind of tough. Yes, homophobia is still an issue, I'm pretty sure, and more transphobia now. Everyone needs to chill and understand how people want to be who they want to be. Exactly. Yeah, he's late again. Can't believe Ejah's ignoring chat. SMH. Read the room comes to mind. Exactly. Yo, I'm reading chat. I'm just trying to get through the video too. It's a not. Yo, can you believe it's a 9-minute video and we're only 6 minutes through, dog? We've been dog, crazy. I've been talking for a while. I'm trying to get through it.
Chris likely believes that people will slowly adapt to his new appearance over time, but is this really going to happen? Well, maybe. It's difficult to say as the situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a successful member in the first place? Perhaps the opposite will happen, and he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current MrBeast audience. This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris, who implied that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any value to the videos. MrBeast has likely cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway, and if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video. On top of this, it can be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority, although as we have seen, a situation like Chris's does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion, which could be seen as a benefit for the MrBeast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my views if I got it.
The problem is this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation for MrBeast.
He does. And the stance you take is stand by your friend. If it's really a matter of, because okay, you have two routes. Obviously the bad one is going to be saying, Chris, you gotta go. You feel me? It's creating too much drama. It's taking away from, and it's just, if he feels this way, hey, it's taking away from, my real goal, which is, helping the world and, going all the way. And it's not that I don't accept you. It's not that I don't agree to a certain extent of what, the lifestyle choice you made, but you feel me? Like you're screwing up the brand and it's hurting what I want to do for the grand scheme of thing. That's the stance he could take. Obviously, people are going to say, oh, you're transphobic, this and that. And it's likely it's not going to be true at the end of the day. This is his friend. But he has to make it's a decision. Like I said, it's a hard spot to be in. Do you take the, at the end of the day, this is my brand spot and you have to just protect your brand? Or, and I don't feel like he feels cornered or anything. Because if this is truly his friend, he doesn't care. You feel me? But it's a situation of like, the stance that you take is, I'm standing by my friend. I don't care what he's doing with his life decisions. That has nothing to do with me. This is my friend I've known for years. I'm standing by my friend. This is what it is. And that's the stance you take. And Jimmy he's probably still just trying to figure out how exactly to navigate that. Like I said, he's older than me. He's probably come to this conclusion already. He'll figure it out. You feel me? But, at the end of the day, that's the stance you take. You feel me? Like, you stand by and you're good. You feel me? You stand by your friend and you're good. And at the end of the day, I don't think anybody can truly be mad at MrBeast for standing by his friend. It can't be about transphobia, the whole homo. At the end of the day, if for the people you want around are the people with brain cells. I'm just keeping it a stack, right? Like, it can't be about all that to gain all the negativity. The negativity is gonna come from if he denies his friend because of the situation. He can only really get positivity from the people he really wants around for saying, I'm gonna stand by my friend. And that's the stance you take at the end of the day. Anyway, we got some content cover videos. Yep, very true. He meant MrBeast has his hands tied because he fires Chris. The internet will rip him apart for being transphobic and try to cancel him. Exactly. Yeah, you know, there it is. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying, right? And yeah, in that sense he does, but I don't think that's not like, I don't feel like he's cornered. You feel me? It's just kind of like, okay, you make the decision at the end of the day. It's like, okay. I don't think MrBeast is going to get canceled if he explains the situation and he has as transparent as possible. And realistically, I think if Chris is really his friend, and I know this might be crazy to say, a little crazy to say, but let's just say a month down the line, let's just say this situation, if it doesn't become normal to like the audience, let's just say a month down the line, if views start dropping, revenue starts dropping, MrBeast is feeling it, the whole crew is feeling it. If Chris is really his friend, he steps away on his own. And they make it as transparent as possible. Hey, Chris decided to leave on his own. Let people speculate. They might not believe it, but if Chris and MrBeast sit down in a video and say, Chris decided to leave on his own because at the end of the day, it was hurting the brand overall. If Chris is really his friend, he will do so. And if MrBeast is really his friend, he'll say, hey, Chris, maybe back off the camera side of things, but I'll keep you on my payroll on the behind the camera back end side of things. You feel me? And that's just something they have to just make a video or a statement or something like that. A video would be better where they come to that agreement. Let's just say a month down the line, if things start like going downhill, and that at that point it starts to hurt the mission of like MrBeast at the end of the day. What I imagine his mission is. You feel me? So that's just kind of how I see that. Otherwise, he stands by his friend and they try to make this work. And but he has to verbally take a stand. No matter what, he has to verbally take a stand in a video or a stream, whatever it is, for this to, settle down, I think, to an extent. It's going to be a little fire, but he has to take a stand. You feel me? Being cornered would be from the stance of him not agreeing with Chris. MrBeast's opinions aside, he has two options: fire Chris and take the backlash, or keep Chris around, which would apply. He's exactly right. He's okay with it. The silent agreement. Yeah, right. Exactly. But me personally, I just take a stand. That's just me. But I'm different. You feel me? Maybe there's something that I'm not thinking about that he's thinking about outside of this. Like if he's just conforming to the internet and all the other stuff, he's thinking the way you are. But if he's thinking the way I am, in the sense of, those are your real options. You feel me? You wait a little while, see how it goes. If Chris is a real one, he'll back off himself. No hard feelings. You keep him on payroll. You keep him, a part of the team in some way. Or, you feel me, you take a stand, make it verbal, make it strong opinion on everything, and then everything just, you force the world around you to conform. And he has that power, at least his audience, to conform. You feel me? The people that want to stay
publicly express acceptance of Chris's transition, as silence or even worse, disapproval would come with obvious severe repercussions. However, in accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express their true feelings and may rather simply click on fewer MrBeast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself.
Exactly. That's what I see. It's you see what I'm saying? It's like Chris that's the only other, you feel me? I literally just said it. It's almost as if I'm just sidekick or something. But no, it's just, you have a couple brain cells, you come to that conclusion. He has to resign himself. And that's just, if they're friends, you make that decision. You say, hey, I'm gonna pull out from the videos because I see how things are going, but I still want to be a part of the team somehow. Let me just do something else. You feel me? And I guarantee you, MrBeast will be 100% okay with that. 100%. Because not only does he get to keep his friend around, but then he gets to say, oh yeah, if anybody asks, you feel me? It's like, oh yeah, Chris is still a part of the team. I didn't kick him off. It was just, you feel me? Or he doesn't say that at all, but people can come to that conclusion. You feel me?
Press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact
I said the same, bro, come on, dog. I said the same exact thing. You feel me? It's like, yo. And then that stream, I'm not gonna lie, those clips are damning. Like, Chris isn't even realizing the situation he's putting Mr. Beast in, especially when you're making those different comments. Everybody's clearly uncomfortable. Read the room. Read the room. Come on, read the room. Be real. You feel me? Like, read the room. And this is gonna be kind of like a hot take, right? But just bear with me, right? Roll with me. From my experience of, like, because I've dealt with both ends. I have really good friends that are bisexual, LGBTQ plus, whatever, the whole, 9 yards, right? I have really good friends that are on that side of things, right? But outside of my friends, other, like, people part of that community that I've interacted with, you kind of have two ends. You have the people who, like, are just living their life, right? And they're just like, hey, this is me, take it or leave it, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm 100% cool with that. I like, when people just be who they are and they just say, hey, I mean, you're not cool, whatever, cool, adios, I don't care, right? You have that end of it, right? But then you have the other end of it where there are some that are part of the community that try to force their, like, ideals and are very aggressive about it, right? And I feel like that's the toxic part of the LGBTQ plus community, because I feel like you have to at least have some self-awareness to understand that this is a relatively new thing in the world. You feel me? So you have to move with a certain level of, like, we'll call it grace, self-awareness, things like that when you're in different situations. And there are some people part of the community that just don't realize that, and they just try to go 100% aggressive. You feel me? Where they're just like gung-ho, like trying to almost force their, you feel me, everything. And if you just say one wrong thing, like if you use the wrong pronoun, things like that, they just, like, blow up on you, right? I've been on both ends of the spectrum. So I truly feel like, I hope that Chris isn't doing that, because that kind of sucks. You feel me? It's not cool to do. You feel me? Let's just be self-aware. Say, hey, this is who I am. If you're not okay with it, cool. I get it. I'll step away. Feel me? I'll remove myself from the situation and find people that will accept me. Or you just be cool. You feel me? Just be cool. Just carry yourself with some grace and just say, hey, we'll just ease into this together. This is new, because in all reality, this is new to Chris. A new experience for Chris, but it's also a new experience for his friends as well. If y'all are truly friends, y'all are truly cool, just ease them into it. Don't make them uncomfortable. You feel me? Like the whole thing with the Erza post, he's like, oh, hey, it's Jimmy, and it's like, yo, come on. You feel me? Be real. Like, that's wild to say in this situation where you are transitioning. You feel me? To then try to feminize everybody around you. You feel me? That's what it felt like personally. That being said, like I said, that might be a little bit of a hot take, but that's just kind of reality. There's a little bit of toxicity in every community you go through, and that's just the toxicity that the LGBTQ plus community is going through. I'm just keeping it stacks. I call it how I see it. That's just how it is. There's a portion of not everybody, but there's a small portion that try to force their ideals on you, and that's the type of stuff I'm not okay with. You feel me? Because that's also why people, like, there are people that are, like, very, like, trying to step away from religion. You feel me? Because they're like, that's why certain people aren't liking religion anymore. People in general just are straying away from religion because, like, churches and the community try to force this stuff down your throat instead of just saying, hey, if you believe in it, you believe in it. If I believe in it, I believe in it. That's how I'm going to live my life by. I'm not going to try to force everything that I believe on you. That's not cool. That's what pushes people away. It's the same exact tactics that some churches and stuff you'll go to will do. You feel me? They'll try to, force religion down your throat, and it's off-putting. It's not cool. It feels like you're being, like, manipulated, and, like, it feels like you're a part of a cult at that point. You feel me? It's not cool. So that's just my take on it. Anyway, read chat. I gotta read chat. Let's see. Taking a stand and saying Chris stays and his transition doesn't change anything is the active agreement route, which would split his fans between the people involved with the drama and those who support him anyway. Exactly, but that's honestly what I would do personally, because if this is what I truly believe in and say, hey, this is my friend, I don't care what he's doing, I don't care. I would rather the people who stand with me stay on my side and watch my videos. You feel me? Or at least don't care enough to even take a side and just say, all right, cool, MrBeast, this is you, cool, whatever, I don't care. You feel me? I like your content, I watch videos, I'm going to keep watching. You feel me? That's who I would want around personally. And it doesn't seem like as the greatest as the brand goes. I get it, but you make that decision. You feel me? It's either way it goes. But like I said, I'll say, I call it like I see it. You feel me? I'm more aggressive with it. You feel me? Bros, your mind, yeah. That's just business. Each got the brand smarts, yeah. Great minds think alike, they say, yeah. Oh my God, someone finally said, oh, I guess you're talking about with the, yeah. Sorry, phone auto fulfillment. When I have an argument with someone, bro, acting like that, I have to explain, bro, I'm not attacking your LGBTQ-ness. I'm just saying I don't like you as a person. Yeah, exactly. That also happens. Like, oh, you don't like me because it's like me if I said, oh, you don't like me because I'm black. You feel me? It's like the same thing. You feel me? Like, no, sometimes it's just you just might be a shit person. I'm just keep it a stack. That's your reality. It's funny because in the Bible it says that Jesus himself said you can't force someone to love him. You spread the message, and those who want to follow will follow. Exactly. Like, just be cool. You feel me? Like, just be cool. You feel me? Just if you believe in something, hey, if someone is curious, or you might just say something. Somebody asks, oh, explain more, tell me more. You just tell them, and if they at the end of the bit they're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm not really interested. Okay, just leave it alone. Hey, it is what it is. But it was like, okay, cool. I get it. I agree. You feel me? Then you can have a conversation with it. That's how you move through life. Just I'm just keep it sad. You just move through life in general. That's just a reality. That's my opinion. Anyway.
Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool though. Good video. Good take. Does MrBeast disagree with this? If he does, I can understand why. But I also think this guy said some things that were valid. You feel me? Like, he said some things that were valid. 100%. Especially when it comes to just breaking it down. Like, when you just break something down objectively, he had some good takes. I'm just keep saying. So if MrBeast disagrees with this, I'm not sure. But if he does, I understand why. It's a sensitive situation, but he's not technically wrong. It's a very objective point of view, I think. It's kind of like, now I think the title is crazy. Why Chris will soon be a nightmare for MrBeast? That's clickbait, okay? I think that every content creator does it at a certain point. That's clickbait. You feel me? If MrBeast didn't watch the whole video, yes, he's gonna be pissed off. You feel me? But is he wrong to say that Chris might, possibly, could hurt the brand? I don't think so. And especially, like I said, I give it like a month to see if MrBeast's metrics start going down, because they're already starting to go down. But if MrBeast's metrics start going down after like this week and continue to go down, he's not wrong. Chris is then hurting your brand, and you have to make the decision as CEO, as not only CEO, but just as a content creator, as a friend. It's complicated, That's why they say don't mix, family and money and business and things like that, business and pleasure, all that type of stuff. That's why they say don't mix that type of stuff, because now it's getting complicated, Especially since if you're MrBeast who's been doing this for so long, and your fans know the entire group and who they are, and they understand that you're friends and the friendship that's there and all that type of stuff. It's gotten so complicated. And of course you can't predict a certain situation like this happening, but man, has it gotten complicated. And I'm just curious to see how this whole thing goes after this month. It's gonna be pretty interesting to me. Realistically though, I kind of expect people to just forget about this, because that's just how the internet works, and then we just move on. And if those metrics start going down, MrBeast might say something. He might. Or they go down for a little bit, and then everything just balances back out, and then he's dropping a video about how he's giving all the children or I don't know, he's saving all the children in the workers camps in China or something, making iPhones, and they're gonna, I don't know. Anyway.